Again, it's a little rough. It's not totally flat. And I didn't have a ton of time to build up. Oh shit. Wow. Talk about saving yourself, right? What a move. So that right there, my friends, is how you hop off a mountain bike. I'm Ricky Myers, and today we're going on another mountain bike ride. It's going to be a fun bike ride today because I have all four of my mountain bikes with me. I have the Trek Remedy 8, I have the Trek Fuel EX8, I have my Hardtail Trek 3900, and I have the one and only, my brand new top-of-the-line Beach Cruiser. So we're going to see which bike is faster. So it's going to be really interesting. If I had to put my money on it, I would say my Trek 3900 Hardtail is going to be the fastest bike because the full suspensions are usually slower. But we may be surprised. That Beach Cruiser might be giving us a run for our money today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm driving down this old dirt road here. I'm driving to the Old Pershing Highway, and it's going to be the perfect spot to do this speed test with all four bikes. So sit back and enjoy this speed test coming up. Yeah, we meet out on the county line. All cuffed up and stuffed up and looking sort of roughed up, 'cause I damn near took a man's life. Well, I ain't gotta tell you a lie, I told you so. Pumping up my bike tires. Luckily I remembered my pump this time, because you remember last time, if you watched my video, I forgot my pump, so my tires were a little bit flat. But like I said, that's what makes me an expert. I have 10 years of mountain biking experience. So when you have 10 years of experience, remember, consistently is the key, that you run into scenarios like that where I forgot my bike pump and now I remember to bring it this time for sure. So we're going to make sure we have enough air in my tires, and then we're going to take this Trek 3900 on the first rip. Okay, we're going to start the 4-bike speed test right now. I'm going to get the blood flowing. I can do 100 of those, and let's hit it. Okay, so the first bike I'm on right now is the Trek Hardtail 3900, and I consider this to be my fastest bike right here. I'm on the Pershing Highway. I actually found another stretch of highway here that is more of a straightaway and it's not too bumpy. So I consider this to be my fastest bike, this Trek 3900, and we're gonna take it for a rip here in a minute and see how fast we can get it going. I've actually won multiple races on this bike, so we'll see how well it performs compared to the others. So I'm getting it going, I'm switching the gears. I'm getting it going, I'm switching the gears. I'm all the way up into the highest gear, and I'm freaking flying right now down the Old Pershing Highway. I'm really careful here. I just flew down the Old Pershing Highway in my Trek Hardtail 3900, and I'm running a couple apps. I'm running Endomondo and Strava, and we're gonna get a speed on each of these bikes. I'm biking back. It actually took me a minute to get used to this gearing compared to my Remedy 8. You see there's a shifter up here, one at the bottom, one on this side and down here. So it can get a little confusing versus that one gearing sprocket on the newer bikes. But this bike sure does rip. I'm riding back on the Trek Hardtail 3900. Okay, and the 3900 Hardtail, I just checked the results, 27.5 miles an hour. Again, it's a little rough. It's not totally flat. And I didn't have a ton of time to build up. Oh shit. Wow. Talk about saving yourself, right? What a move. So that right there, my friends, is how you hop off a mountain bike. And that just goes to show you, look at this pothole. Look at this pothole right here. That just goes to show you, look at that pothole. So the front tire got stuck in there, but I hopped right off the bike. That's why I'm wearing these elbow pads and and all this equipment, so you don't fall and hurt yourself, like right there. So anyways, back to that, 27.5 miles an hour. Okay, I didn't have a really long run. This is more of a sprint. I would say about what I'm getting these bikes up to in about 100 yards. So 27.5 miles an hour on flat land with this. I'm gonna take a little rest in between so I'm fresh with the next bike, and we're gonna see which one's the fastest. So that was the Trek Hardtail 3900, flew down the Old Pershing Highway. Bike next on deck is gonna be the Trek EX8. Okay, so we just finished with the Trek 3900 Hardtail, ripped on it, 27.5 miles an hour. Now we're moving into the full suspension line. This is the Trek EX8. It's full suspension, so I want to test the shock. I want to make sure it's got enough air in it. I haven't ridden this bike in a while. So let's see, so we're at 150, so there's not enough. So I want to bring it up to close to 200. We're gonna lock the shock out so it's totally stiff. Okay, we're at 200. Take this off, and then we're gonna see how fast we can get this bike going right now. Okay, I had to move to another part of the Pershing Highway. Some guys came start to cut the grass. I don't know what they're doing, cutting rocks, whatever. But this part of the Pershing Highway, there's still a long enough straightaway that we're going to be able to get an idea still how fast these bikes are going. So there's enough for me to get up speed about 100 yards. There was 100 yards over there, so it's going to be about the same. So we're going to do the Trek EX8 right now. I am on the Trek EX8 full suspension. I got the shocks locked out. This has Industry 9 wheels, so we're going to see how fast I can get this bike going here in a minute. It's totally locked out, and we're going to take it for its speed run right now. So you can hear the Industry 9 wheels on this, 26-inch wheels. The last bike had 26-inch wheels also. The next bike on deck is going to be the Trek Remedy 8. So here we go, the Trek EX8, going into the highest gear. Right now I'm in the highest gear, and here we go. A little bit of some flex on the front shock. Okay, so surprisingly, we got the Fuel EX8 up to 29.1 miles an hour. It beat the green bike, which is very surprising. That's my hardtail. It's usually a faster bike, but it might have been because I had more distance here. The Fuel EX8 takes longer to get up and going, but once you're up at that speed, it goes quick. The green bike is faster out of the hole. It can get up to speed quicker, but obviously at top speed, it doesn't max out like the Fuel EX8. So right now the Fuel EX8 is at 29.1 miles an hour. We're now gonna go with the Trek Remedy 8. I'm gonna make sure the shocks are pumped up, everything's locked out. Take a little break here so I'm fresh. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So here we are on the Trek Remedy 8. Look at this beauty. My favorite bike right now, coming up, Trek Remedy 8. It's just a beautiful bike, 27.5-inch wheels, and we're gonna get this one going right now. Okay, I'm on the Trek Remedy 8. Here we go, look at this. Trek Remedy 8. And what we got going here now is one gearing sprocket and the drop seat. So I'm gonna have the drop seat all the way up, and I'm gonna push it here in a minute, see how fast I can get this bike going. So the thing with this bike is there's still a lot of flex, even when it's locked out. This bike is just built for off-road riding, up hills, down hills, drops. It's smooth as hell, but on a straightaway like this, I don't know how good it is or how fast it's gonna go. I think last time I got it to 26 miles an hour. But I went over some bumpy roads. But this bike is just amazing off-road on the trails. So we'll see. The flex, when your bike flexes, it's gonna slow it down. Here we go. I'm pushing it now. Here we go, it's flexing a bit. I'm in the highest gear now. And now we're ripping down the Pershing Highway. Okay guys, myth busted. This bike actually went 30 miles an hour right on the nose, and I'm pretty tired at this point, so I could probably even get it going faster. I thought my hardtail would be the fastest, but it wasn't, and this bike actually flexes, which is what I thought would slow it down. It didn't. It went the fastest, and I think it's because of those 27.5-inch wheels. That's a pretty amazing speed right there with how tired I am. Next bike up is the best for the last, and that's the Beach Cruiser. We're gonna see how fast we can get that bike going. And then we're gonna have a little barbecue. I'm gonna wind down, and we're gonna recap all of this. Okay, we saved the best for the last. This is the Electra Beach Cruiser. We're gonna see how fast I can get this going. And this bike here doesn't have any gears, and it doesn't pedal backwards. So when you press backwards, the brakes just lock up. So this is my newest bike. Let's see how fast we can get it going. So here we are on the Electra Beach Cruiser. Look at this. Beautiful bike. Can't wait to take it out on the beach and in the sand. We're gonna see how fast we can get it going in a minute, but what a ride. Yeah, look at this thing. So I'm about wiped. It's gonna be the last ride. Then we're gonna go have a mini barbecue and recap what this all means in a minute. When I pedal backwards, it just locks the wheels out pretty hard, so it's pretty funny. So let's see how fast we can get it going. Beautiful bike. So here we go. Let's hit it. Feels really awkward, but here we go. And we're flying on the Electra Beach Cruiser.
Yourself back home, and you know it's real. It's a hard line when you're done wrong. It's a hard line when your mind ain't clean.
Thing feels a little sketchy. It's a little wobbly. Might need to be tightened up a bit. Okay, so surprisingly, this bike went 27.3 miles an hour and it finished second last. It actually beat the Trek Hardtail 3900, which I don't know, I'm not fully convinced yet. So I'm not fully convinced because we took the green bike on the other trail and those guys came to cut the grass, so I came over here where there was no one. But if we equal everything out, the green bike was my first ride, so I was totally fresh. This is the last ride and I'm exhausted. When I got pedaling on this bike, my legs were going too fast. The bike couldn't catch up to my legs, and then I was just going way too fast. Those other bikes are going to destroy it. I can't see how this would have beat the green bike, but it did, surprisingly. This bike is pretty freaking fast. What makes me an expert is I have 10 years of mountain biking experience consistently. Remember, consistently is the key. When you ride that much, there's things you experience that you do and you don't do that you learn from that I'm passing on to you to make you a better rider. I'm going to get my mini grill going. I'm going to talk to you about that, and we're going to recap this whole thing right now. Here's my cooler right here that I bring. I usually fill it with a bunch of things. I got a pepper in here, I got ice, I've got plenty of drinks. I've got protein shakes, I've got BCAA powder, that is branched chain amino acids to help repair your muscles. Every mountain biker should have that, especially when you bike that hard and you burn that much energy. And now I'm going to show you my mini barbecue right over here. Okay, this is my mini barbecue I take everywhere with me. You just open it up, you screw on this mini valve here. It just screws on just like that. You grab a propane tank. That's just going to screw in just like this. It's really easy. So it screws in there. I got one of these iron pots. Set it on there just like that. I'm going to put some coconut oil in here. And then I just got one of those frozen packages today that has chicken and broccoli in it. We're just going to throw it in there and we're going to cook it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. I just got one of these at the store. It's frozen chicken and broccoli. I'm just going to dump it into this pot, but I actually brought a pepper with me this time. You can bring whatever vegetables you want and mix it in, and it's going to make for a really good food out here. And it's going to be nice and lean. So this is it. It's nice and lean. It only has 8 carbs, so that's really good. This tray comes out. I'm just going to dump it in just like that. We're just going to put it all in and then mix it up, and then I'll have some great food here in a minute. Just a great little thing to take mountain biking wherever I go, wherever I travel. Fill the cooler, take this mini barbecue, and bring some good food with me. Okay, that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed that 4-bike speed test. 3 mountain bikes, 1 beach cruiser. What did we learn today? I learned something new, that flex on that Trek Remedy 8 didn't slow it down. It actually came in number 1. So we have the Trek Remedy 8 that came in number 1, the Fuel EX8 that came in number 2. Then we had a close call between the Hardtail 3900 Trek and the Electra Beach Cruiser. The Beach Cruiser came in, and I want to make a correction. I thought it was faster, but it came in at 27.1 miles an hour. The Trek 3900 Hardtail came in at 27.3 miles an hour, but remember, I had to do it over there and then move. Maybe that had something to do with it, but that was the first ride, so I wasn't as tired. There's a lot of factors involved, but I'm still not convinced that this bike went this slow. I thought this was going to be my fastest bike right here, and it wasn't. It was actually the full suspension Trek Remedy 8. I just think it's because of the 27.5-inch wheels and how well put together this bike is with the 1-sprocket gearing and all that. I might come back with just this bike alone and see how fast I can get it going, but I hope you really enjoyed this. I'm pretty impressed by the Beach Cruiser and all my bikes here. I go on amazing mountain bike adventures. I've got some great videos coming up. So if you like the mountain bike, I like to do that. I like to do a lot of things in the outdoors. And I'll see you on the next great adventure. And it's going to be a lot of fun, so I want you guys to... Okay, cut. So I'm just driving down these back roads, down this dirt road to the Old Pershing Highway. That's where I'm going to do the speed test on all 4 of these bikes. So I hope you'll join me on this and we'll have a great time. Okay, never mind. Just let it run. So I'm driving down this dirt road right now in my truck. I'm driving over to the Old Pershing Highway. It's flatter. It's going to be the perfect spot for the speed test. So come along with me. Cut. I'm driving down this old dirt road here and we're back in the woods. I'm driving over to the Old Pershing Highway. It's going to be the perfect spot to do the okay, hang on. No, I got it. Okay. I'm driving down this old dirt road here. I'm driving to the Old Pershing Highway and it's going to be the perfect spot to do this speed test with all 4 bikes. So sit back and enjoy this speed test coming up. Got it.